All right, we have VoWac for Monday, September 25th. What are we working on today in VoWac? I have to look and see. So we have vowel teams, OA and OE, and we're reviewing a little bit long A and long E. Okay? All right, so we have a couple of cards. We're working on the long O sound. So I don't know if you guys have seen this card before.
We have in Miss C's class.
Yep. So when you see this card, you say O-A-O at the beginning or the middle of a word or syllable. I'll say it one more time. O-A-O at the beginning or the middle of a word or syllable. Ready to try it? Say it.
O-A-O at the beginning or the middle of a word or syllable.
So the OA can say the long O sound at the beginning of a word or syllable, like in the word oat. Do you guys ever have oatmeal?
Yes.
Oatmeal.
I love oatmeal.
Yeah. Oatmeal is made from oats. Okay, that's enough. Okay. It can be at the beginning, like in the word oak. That's a kind of tree. Oak. And the OA says O. It can be in the beginning, like in a word like. Read this one. The OA says O. Or. If I'm going to row a boat, I'm going to need an oar to row the boat. Okay.
What's an oar?
It's a paddle
Oh.
for a rowboat. Okay. So it can be at the beginning of a word or syllable, or it can be in the middle of a word or syllable, like the word, I just said this one. Boat. The O and the A say O, Ace. So when you see the O and the A, you know it makes the O sound. Okay? Or like, read it to yourself. What does it say, Ace?
Robe.
Not robe. Road. That's a D. Road. Or like the word. Dan?
Coat.
Coat. Or like the word. Rider? What's that word? G. Everybody?
Goat.
Goat. Or the O and the A say O, so this word is soap. The O and the A say O, so this word is toast. Good. Toast. Good. I'm going to hand this worksheet out and then I'm going to pause the video, Ryder. We're just going to do this top part of the worksheet where we write O-A and then we say O. O-A and then we say O. When you're done with that, unpause and you can join us again. Okay, we are ready to move on. I have another card, another vowel team that makes the long O sound. So when you see this card, pencils down, please. If you aren't done with the O-A-O, you'll just have to finish them later, okay? When you see this card, you say O-E-O at the end of a word or syllable. Okay, so when you see this card, you say O-E-O at the end of a word or syllable. Ready? Say it.
O-E-O at the end of a word or syllable.
At the end. So this one does not, we don't start words that say long O sound, O-E. We don't have it in the middle. We have it at the end. Can you think of any words that have the O sound at the end that might be O-E?
Toe.
Toe. What's a female deer?
A doe.
A doe.
Kind of rhymes with the music sound doe.
It definitely does. Any others? What's Julia's brother's name?
Joe.
Joe.
I love it when you use that in Voice.
Mm-hmm. If somebody is my enemy, they are my
Foe.
foe.
What's a foe?
That's my enemy.
Oh.
My arch nemesis. My enemy is my foe.
Ace is my enemy.
How about... Oh, I'm going to try to walk quietly, so I'm going to...
Oh, I know. Tippy toe.
Tiptoe. Okay. All of those are O-E-O words. So on the second row, you can write O-E-O. O-E-O. Go ahead and get that second row on the worksheet done. Unpause when you come back. Okay, so we are now talking about all of the ways that we have learned to make the long O sound. There are definitely more ways, but these are the ones we have worked on. What's the most common way to make long O sound?
O.
Just the letter O. The second most common way for every vowel except for E is what?
O.
Vowel, consonant, silent E. That is the second most common way for every letter except for E. Okay? And then our next most common way that we've just learned about today is O-A. And then a not so common way, I think it's even on the bottom up on our chart, is the other one we just learned?
O-E.
O-E. Those are the ways that we spell long O. All right, let's take a look at the words on your worksheet. We're going to read these words. Let me take a quick look. Yep, they all have a long O. Nope, they don't all have a long O. Okay, some of them are reviewing a long E sound or a long A sound. But if you see an OA, you know it says
A.
If you see OA, it says O. If you see OE, it says O. All right. Ace, read that first word.
Goat. Goat.
Goat. Next word going across. Dan.
Float.
Float. The next word is doe skin. The next word is not a long O. It's an AI vowel team, so that's a long A sound. Can you read it for me? Good. Chain. Next one, Dan.
Steamboat.
Steamboat. Next row down, Ace.
Oh. Hoe.
Hoe, like you're raking and using a hoe in your garden. Next word, Dan.
Crook.
Nope, the OA says O.
Croak.
Croak. The next word, put your finger on it so I know you're there. We just did croak in the second column. We're in the third column, second one down. Third column, 1. Move next one over. 2, second column, third column over. Next one over. 3, we're the second word down. It is groan. Groan. Everybody groan for me. Oh. Whoa. I'm so full.
I don't want to do this anymore.
All right. Our next word, Dan, is a long E sound. Speech. The last word in that column is a compound word, 2 words put together. Ace, what is it? The A and the I say A.
A. Real. Oh.
D.
Railroad.
Yep, railroad. Very good.
Train.
Yep, exactly. All right, the third row, the first word is road. Then what do we have, Dan?
Roast.
Then we have throat. Next word, Ace.
G.
Nope. We are in. I just read throat. That one's yours. That A and Y come at the end of a word.
A. Stray.
Stray. Good.
Stray dog.
The next word, do you know what that word is? Dan, do you know that one? Loafer. Do you know what a loafer is?
Nope.
It can be 2 different meanings. It can be a type of shoe. A man's shoe, kind of a dressier shoe, is called a loafer. But it can also be a verb. If somebody's really lazy and they're not doing much, they might be called a loafer. Or if you're loafing around. Nope, loafer. All right, the bottom row. What's that first one, Ace?
Toad.
Toad. And then we have a gross one that I don't like to hear. Toenail. Every time we hear that one, it makes me groan. All right, next one, Dan. Goal. And then we have stream. And then we have the best breakfast food ever. Oatmeal.
Yes.
I love oatmeal. All right. I have some words for you to write. I gotta get that up. So pencils out. Your first word. I hate when I do this. We're not gonna write all 8 because we're only gonna write the words that are a long O sound. So your first one is actually, we'll just do one word. First word is oak. Say it.
Oak.
Write it. How are you going to make that O sound at the beginning or the middle of a word or syllable? Ace. How are we going to make the O sound at the beginning or the middle?
A-O.
Not A-O.
O-A.
O-A. Oak. So oak is spelled oak. Okay. Number 2, your word is loaf. Say it.
Loaf.
Loaf. Good. How did you spell that one, Dan?
L-O-A-F.
Good. Because when it's in the middle of a word or syllable, that long O sound is spelled O-A. Good. Number 3 is a name. The name is Joan. So it's a proper noun. What do we do with proper nouns? We capitalize them. The name is Joan. Say it.
Joan.
Dan, look at me and say it.
Joan.
I'm sorry. I meant Ace. Ace, look at me and say it. Joan. Good. Okay, how did you spell it, Ace?
J.
But not just J. Capital J.
Capital J.
Uh-huh.
O-A-N.
Perfect. Joan. Number 4 is also a name, also a proper noun, so we capitalize it, and the name is Joe. Say it.
Joe.
Write it. Joe. All right, Ryder, how'd you spell it? Perfect. Capital J O E. Because the O sound comes at the end of the word or syllable, so we know it's the O and the E working together to make the long O sound in Joe. All right, number 5, your word is toast. Say it.
Toast.
Write it. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, where does the O sound come in that word?
In the
Beginning, middle, or end? It becomes in the middle. Very good. So how did you spell it, Dan?
Toast.
Perfect.
Right now I had an L, but not a T.
I'm glad you noticed it. Toast.
I was just writing it.
We're going to just do one more. This word is oat. Say it.
Oat.
Write it. Oat. Where does the O sound come in oat, everybody?
At the beginning.
At the beginning. And so we know that we spell it. When it comes at the beginning, we know we spell it.
O-A.
Oat. O-A. In the beginning or the middle of a word or syllable. Oat. Good. You can cross off number 7 and number 8. We're not going to do those. And I don't think there's not a back side to that paper, correct? Okay. So make sure your name is on that one and you can hand it in. And then you need to get that page out, Ryder, and I'll give instructions for that in just a second. All right, so on this page, we are practicing some of our clover labeling. You guys did a page like this before. So each of these sentences has a picture that will go with it. So once you have read the sentence and then clover labeled the sentence, you can figure out which picture goes with which sentence and glue it on. I think it should be pretty simple. They put the slash in between all of the 2-syllable words. You don't need to put a slash in any of the words because that part is already done for you. Okay? All right. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.